The shadows grow long. The wind sweeps across your surroundings. Creatures of cold command stare with eyes just beyond your vision. You see yourself walking up at the base of a mountainside city. You're aware of your surroundings, but your breath is not your own. A voice creeps into your mind, familiar yet distant, like you're having a dream and only remember the moment before waking up. The shadows are plentiful here, and they will only grow with time. A friend is waiting just beyond the gates. A person who wants answers. Get in and see if you can help them. The voice is familiar to you, and as they finish speaking, you feel your mind clear again for the first time in a while, your body moving under your own volition.
Oh.
Yeah, so as you're walking up to the outskirts of the city, would you like to describe who you are?
Yes. So, oh god, how do I even start? I promise I've done this before. I am Maeve. She is a half-drow warlock. She is... How much can I go into?
Don't give too much away. Just
Okay.
like basic description, stuff like that.
She is, in one word, we will say cunning. She knows exactly what she wants and exactly how to get it most of the time. And there is a very there was a very mysterious air to her, like you'd never fully know her. It's probably the best way to describe it.
But you're at the outskirts of Crown Top, the capital of Itheralda, and it's this massive looming peak with a castle near the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
But as you're walking to the outskirts of the city, you see there are small hovels and tents dotted about, clearly lower class and simple compared to the sprawling network of the inner city. A large stone wall lines this side, with guards standing atop wielding ranged weapons. In front of you, a man is moving a wagon up to the gate with a horse attached to the front, as well as a small group of people herding a cow and a calf into the walls of the city.
Mm-hmm.
You see there are two guards blocking the gate with spears. One of them is talking to those people with the calves.
Mm-hmm.
Change the map.
Ooh.
But as was said, you have been sent here by someone who you recognize. You recognize the voice.
Mm-hmm.
Sent here to help another friend of yours. But it seems like your first challenge is to get into the city.
Okay. So what can I see right now?
You see this in front of you, this sort of pathway going up with that man at the wagon, so slowly moving in, waiting for these people with the two cows to go through. As well as there's three guards on top of the wall, two blocking the entrance.
Okay. So I would approach the man in the wagon.
Okay.
I'm guessing he's stationary.
Yeah, he's sort of just like waiting. The horse is like a little bit restless. You see a sort of like dwarven man with a ginger beard and sort of like long curly hair. He looks to you and says, "Do you need anything, miss?"
Well, I assume you have access to the city, correct?
That I do.
Well, would you be opposed to having a guest with you?
Now, what sort of guest would that be?
Well, I'm looking to get into the city.
And who may I be talking to?
She extends a hand with very long fingers, purely because of her nails, and says, "Maeve."
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Maeve. My name is Ethan. And I assume the two of you shake hands. He's got these big, sort of like callous dwarven hands.
Mm-hmm.
And he sort of like he like shakes your hand. It almost hurts as he does. Can you make me a persuasion check?
I can. Don't know how it's gonna go.
13. That's not too bad.
With a +6.
Yeah. Remember, the two things I'll remind you is we are using hero points.
Mm-hmm.
So you have them, and you also have your Pact of the Talisman, meaning when you fail an ability check, you can add a D4 to it.
And that's
It's
once
like
a
guidance.
day.
It's twice a day.
Twice a day.
But it will get.
Is that a fail?
No, it's not a fail. I'm just saying if you. Well, it's really weird. I don't know. It's worded really weirdly because you can't fail an ability check. So I'm like a curve.
Yeah.
But I'll say if you feel like you failed, you can add it. This is fine, but for future reference.
Yeah. Cool.
So he says, one you hop in the back. Might be a few crates, but just leave them be, and I'll tell you when we're up.
And she like climbs over the cart and like sits down amongst these crates, and you can just tell anybody looking at her face, you could tell that she was like not happy with the fact that she had to do this. She's like, ugh.
But you sort of have like a small view of the outside, and you see that those people with the cattle get let in after a few minutes, sort of go up out of sight, and then Ethan on his car sort of saddles up and sort of goes forward, and he just says to the guard next to him, "Here to make the delivery, Ethan's Emporium," and he sort of like holds up a not like a passport, but like a notice thing showing his why he's there, whatever.
Yeah.
The guard sort of nods. It's clear that he's like somewhat recognized. And then pretty quickly you get into the city.
Nice. That was easy.
Yeah. You picked the easiest option.
Yeah.
Well done. But sort of you get to about there, and Ethan sort of turns around and said, "We're in the city. If you ever need any magical wares, any blacksmithing, just come to Ethan's Emporium up in near the top."
She like hops out of the car and just walks away without saying another word to him. She's got what she needed.
And he goes off. But you look around, and you are now inside Crown Top. Still, you're very outskirts, so there are only like some like basic wooden buildings, a few farm areas, places for plants to grow. But you're looking around this pathway, and almost you don't know when they started staring, but you can see from across the road is this shadowed, dark, cloaked figure looking at you from across the street. They're sort of gently floating off the ground, and where their eyes would be are just two glowing orange spheres. And they're looking at you and not moving.
I just look back and just keep the eye contact up, waiting for them to recognize that I can see them.
Yeah, you sort of see, as you keep the eye contact up for long enough, they sort of, there isn't a face to make an expression, but you sort of feel it more than anything. You feel that they can sense that you see them, and that they're slightly confused, or like slightly, I mean, maybe not confused, like impressed might not be the right word either, but they acknowledge it. What do you do?
I don't move, so I stay where I'm standing. But she like folds her arms over, and then just says out loud. Well, not like so loud that like the guards behind would hear, but just like mutters, "Go on then."
The spirit gently floats forward towards you. At like your word. And he says, sort of like it's hard to tell gender, but you can tell masculine.
Yeah.
You just have that sense. And he says, "You can see me. How?"
She like lets out a deep sigh and rolls her eyes like, "Oh, this again." And she's like, I don't know why, I just can. So, whatever it is that you need, sooner rather than later, I have things that I need to do.
The sort of spirit nods and says, I was killed by someone I trusted. A man named Elijah Smith. And I want to know why.
Well, he sounds positively charming. Why can I find him?
Here's the thing, I'm not sure.
Great start.
He and I worked together, but on our last mission we were attacked. I was unscathed, but he took his fair share of hits and was knocked out by the end of it. I took him to the hospital where he was treated quickly, then carried him to his room at the Dragon Roosts Inn and waited till he awoke. Then it's hazy. Then when he did, he sort of points to a very faint, like, gash mark in like the form, and like to a few bites around his body, implying that he killed him. The attack was 48 hours ago. He killed me last night.
Okay. So, are you saying he might still be at the inn?
Possibly, I'm not sure.
And what do you propose I do? Do you just want to find out why? Or do you
want to find out why. I trusted him and he betrayed me. I want to find out why.
Okay. Well, do you mind showing me the way?
To the inn?
Yes.
Of course. And see the spirit, as soon as it says of course, just very slowly turns, like on the spot.
Yeah.
It just begins to float up towards the city. Like the city proper.
Yeah, I just follow, but like try and keep my head down.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want any unnecessary attention.
Of course. So you head up to the upper class area of town, sort of near the middle, so like middle to upper class, and you see looming in front of you the massive castle that's the pinnacle of the city, as well as now the dirt streets have turned to cobble, and you see more people going back and forth, making conversation. It's about midday-ish, but there's a sort of a slight cloud cover in the sky. And further up in the city, you can see that the castle and many towers are covered by a layer of low hanging clouds, sort of giving it this weird, ethereal quality. But you you sort of make a turn, the spirit makes a turn to the left, and you see this well-built mahogany wood structure, sort of with a large rounded door and a sign overhead with the picture of a sleeping dragon. And the words Dragon Roosts Inn below that. I assume, so the ghost sort of like just goes through the door. I assume you follow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you walk in and you sort of see a comfortable, well-lit interior with some like a chandelier in the middle. See a few people are eating lunch and enjoying their breaks from work or other such things. You can see that there is like an inn tavern keeper at one side, and the ghost sort of like begins to go upstairs. Yeah, it's like a set of stairs, begins to go upstairs. Turn the music down to louder. What are you doing?
Is there a lot of people in the inn?
There's like
the tavern, sorry.
It's an inn tavern. Yeah, it's fine. Either one.
In tavern, yeah, cool.
There's like maybe 8 people in the main floor with like 8 customers. There's probably like 2 like help bar like hands like help people like waiters or as such. And there's the innkeeper like behind the bar, sort of with like a desk. That's sort of all the people you see in this room.
Okay, I'm trying to think about the best way to go about this. I think rather than trying to sneak up, I'd
Mhm.
probably approach the barkeep.
Okay. So you see that the innkeeper is this sort of female red dragonborn who's just like sitting at a desk, like writing in a notebook, and she sort of looks up and says, "Do you need something, dear?"
Yes, I'm looking for somebody, and I believe he is staying here.
Okay. What's his name? Or their name? Sorry. you said he.
Elijah.
Elijah. Elijah. Let me check. There is an Elijah staying here.
Oh, is he still here?
I don't know if he's currently in, but I mean his room's still booked.
Okay. Well, I'm his niece.
Can you make a perception check?
Yep. Where's my page? Okay. God damn it! I'm gonna use my thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that makes it a little bit better. It's the same as the other one, and that would work.
Oh, I can't even see that one. So it's 13.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
I heard there was a incident, and he was brought here because he was unwell.
Yes, yes. Him and his friend, I think Liam. I think Liam's his name. He helped him up. Haven't seen either of them today, but I assume because he's ill and helping. Yes, of course. And she sort of goes onto the desk and hands you like a spare key, or you assume like a spare key, and she says, "Second floor, second room on the right."
Perfect, thank you. And she takes the key and starts walking up the stairs.
So you see the spirit's already gone up, but you sort of see it's a very nice establishment. Sort of go up the stairs, sort of like candles, sconces on the wall. You sort of go up first floor, second floor, and get to the hallway where the room is. You sort of go. Did I say? I forgot if you said left or right. But you go to the correct room.
Yeah.
And you sort of put the key in, and it unlocks. And let me see. I'll change the map.
Oh.
So you're coming in from this bit. So as you unlock it, the room appears to be somewhat tossed, like someone barreled through without much care for safety or what they were leaving behind. There's sort of a long candle. So you see, like there's a candle that's like mainly burnt to the stump almost, with a bed in one corner, a cracked chair next to it on the ground, with a body on the floor, and a stain of liquid blood on the floor that's, and the body. Hold on 1 second, I just need to grab the token. The spirit who was like floating just above the body is looking down at it and said, "Well, this was where it happened."
And I assume this is you?
Not slowly. Yes.
Was the door locked?
The door was locked.
I lock it again from the inside.
Okay. And I will mention it's not on this map, there is a balcony.
Okay.
We'll say it's up again. Where that sort of weird thing is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a balcony.
Yeah, so I lock the door.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna try and look. Is there a door leading to the balcony?
Yeah.
And is it is there a window, or is it just
the door has a bit glass in it? So
okay, I'm gonna try and look through it.
Okay.
Do you want me to do a stealth check?
Why are you trying to be quiet?
Yeah, because if there's somebody out there. Ooh, come on, please.
21.
Okay, nice. Fine.
You sort of quite get low to the ground and sort of just be a little bit quieter and sort of look through that glass pane in the door. Would you be pressed up against it, like your hands or something, or would you just look through it?
Just look through.
You don't see much. You see like a faint sort of like on like where you put your hand, like a railing on the edge of the balcony. You do see like a blood stain. Like
But it doesn't look like there's a person.
there's not a person out there.
Okay. So seeing that there's nobody here that I can see, I head back over to the body.
Yeah.
And check it.
Yes. Do you want to? What are you looking for?
Well, you mentioned bites. So I want to.
So you can see like just naturally on the body. You can see like slash marks and bite marks. But can you make me a medicine check?
I can, but it's not going to be good.
Medicine 11. That's not too bad.
Okay.
Okay. So you look down at this body, and it does have a faint resemblance to the spirit that's next to you.
Yeah.
But you can see, again, as has been said, sort of bite marks and slash marks throughout this body. Specifically, there's like a big gash through the stomach.
Yeah.
There is like almost like a piercing through the hand. And you see a bite mark on the neck. That's the main thing, like the biggest marks. But with an 11, you also notice that this around the scars, which you just sort of recognize this, sort of around the scars, there appears to be like a blackened, almost like a decay around them, indicating that some form of necromancy has been used in this kill.
Right. So would I know from? I don't know if I would. Maybe it'd be a survival check. But would I know from looking at the bite mark whether it was like a whole mouth bite or if it was like 2 teeth, like a puncture?
I think with an 11 you get it. It's more like a puncture. It's not more like a snake bite.
Okay.
You know, like a 2 bite rather than like someone has like a zombie bite into your hand and be like the whole. Yeah. It's like a puncture, like a snake or like a bat or something.
Like a bat.
What? I'm thinking of animals with those sort of teeth.
Yeah, I'm thinking of something else. Would I know? Would Maeve know about vampires?
She would know the basics about vampires, like most people know. What's specifically?
Like, does this look like a vampire attack?
I mean, it looks like. I'd say Maeve would know about vampires. They're relatively well known.
She's also very into like
that sort of thing,
dim and dark.
I would say she'd heard of it. It's like looking at the marks, like the bites specifically. You can see that there is like, it's like a, rather than an animal, it's like a human-sized bite, if that makes sense. Like the teeth line up to where like a human jaw would bite down. It's not like, you're not saying, oh, it's definitely a vampire, but like, it's definitely an option that is in your head. It's either something like that, or like, what's his name, Elijah was maybe turned into some sort of bestial thing and grew fangs and claws or something. That's sort of the options you're weighing up in your head.
Yeah, so I'd look up to Liam and I would be like, can I ask, what were you fighting yesterday or the day before?
He sort of thinks for a moment and says, I'm not sure. It was humanoid, like a person. But
was it very edgy?
I mean, tall. It's so fuzzy. I didn't get much of a look. It was more of a quick stealth attack, and then by the time I looked around to see Elijah on the floor, I only saw it run away. I didn't get much of a view.
Did you see it? And she like thinks for a minute, and she's like, "Is this guy? Does he know?" She says, "Did you see it bite Elijah?"
I mean, he had bites and cuts all over him. It was lucky he was still it was still, able to be saved.
Well, was he saved?
Yes, he woke up and attacked.
Yes, but... And she, looks back to the body. And then looks back to the spirit and says, do you know of vampires?
I know of them.
And do you know how somebody becomes a vampire?
So am I going to make a check for the spirit? I'm not entirely sure.
Do you want me to do a history or anything to know
You
how?
know it.
Okay. Well, usually what happens is a vampire, when it bites somebody, if they die, they come back as a spawn. And if the thing that you were fighting was a vampire and Elijah was killed, I think that he may have come back as a spawn, and that's why he attacked you.
It seems far-fetched. There aren't vampires here. This is a peaceful city.
You'd be surprised what lurks in the dark. You're here, after all.
Yes.
Now, my concern is that there is a possible vampire spawn roaming around somewhere, killing people. And I don't particularly want to be next. So I'm trying to weigh up my options.
You sort of see the spirit as you're saying that. It's like they're listening, and they sort of they float backwards while they're listening, and they sort of go to the balcony, just sort of look out the window. What's your passive investigation?
11.
11. Okay, that's fine. I would say sort of as you were looking, sort of you might have noticed it when you were looking at when you went to the balcony and came back, but you were more focused on looking at the body. But sort of when he moves almost through the table, and there is you see that there is a note on the table.
Okay.
Like a letter.
I'm gonna head over and have a look at it.
Okay. So it is a note on the table that is written in crimson ink. I'll send you what this letter says in the Maeve channel.
Am I reading it out, or?
Up to you. Well, I guess no one's listening, so you can read it out loud if you want to. Well, I can if you want. I think actually, do you want to read it out? Should I? Because I think so. Probably should. Because
yeah.
I can. If you want.
Yeah, if you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you go. You're the one reading it.
Okay. So the letter says, you are tasked with acquiring a certain item of interest from the possession of a certain individual, whom we shall refer to as Lord C. This item is of utmost importance to our endeavours, and its retrieval will greatly contribute to the prosperity of our cause. The specifics of the item and its location shall be disclosed to you in due time, through a channel known only to you and I. Exercise caution and meticulous planning, as our success hinges on the careful execution of this mission. Remember, the shadows are your allies, and silence is your greatest companion. Trust in your training and your instincts, for they shall guide you through the labyrinth of this operation. Once you have secured the item, make contact with our designated liaison at the familiar rendezvous point. They will ensure its safe passage into our hands. I'm confident that you will handle this task with the utmost professionalism and bring honour to our syndicate. Reading that, I would probably ask Liam, I'd just say, do you know anything about this?
He sort of floats over to you and like looks down at the note that it's like in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Can you? Actually, sorry. Yeah, that's fine. Can you just make me a regular investigation check? Because you have your passive, but I just want to see if you can. Never mind. It's fine. Liam says he reads it, and you sense he knows something, but stays quiet. So can you make me a persuasion check with advantage?
Mm-hmm. As I did, like, to persuade him, I would just say, well, I can't help you if you're not going to tell me. Fuck, I'm rolling so bad today.
You are. Luckily, the DC was 10. He sort of stays quiet for a second, and like a ghost can't gulp, but sort of stays quiet for a few moments, like thinking. It's like whether he's gonna tell you or not, but he seems swayed. And he says, I was a member of the Crimson Hand. I don't know who Lord C was. It was our mission to take something from him, but we hadn't got all the details yet. We were going to meet our informant before we were attacked. Can you make me a history check?
What is going on with these rolls?
The name Crimson Hand, you recognize it, but you can't place it.
Yeah. It's because I'm not from here.
Yeah. You assume it's like some sort of crime syndicate or family or something, but you can't place the specifics. But also on the desk, sort of under that note, as you moved it, you noticed there is 2 tickets to a play happening at the Royal Masquerade Theatre in tomorrow. And as you notice that, and Liam notices it, he says, "We were told to meet the person there, the informant. I'm not sure who they were, though."
And may I ask, what is the certain item of interest that you were supposed to retrieve?
They were going to tell us, I'm not sure. The informant was going to tell us.
Right. So, were you ambushed?
I mean, by whatever attacked me and Elijah, yes.
So somebody else must have known that you were meeting them.
Possibly.
Okay. Well, do you know, I'm assuming you were staying here, but do you know where else Elijah may have gone?
I'm not sure. The only other... It was all back alley conversations and deals. We didn't have a safe house, because we weren't getting into that much trouble, really. It was petty crime and minor offences to get small profits. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Well, seems I have a show to catch then.
Possibly. The only other place that I can think is where we were attacked.
And where was that?
I can't really describe it. I could show you.
Lead the way.
It's just an alley. Yeah. And so I guess the two of you exit. And you go to wherever they were attacked. So you travel further up the city. The castle going from like, a number of thousands to hundreds of feet in front of you. Still pretty far, but you can see it. Sort of on top of this large plateau, obscured by the fog and cloud cover. He leads you to the noble district of the city, where there are many high-end homes and mansions, as well as towers that reach up to the sky. But sort of as you go on your stride walking, he just quickly turns, just like on a dime, and into this small alley, which I will change the map.
Fun,
yeah. And you sort of turn into this alley. You don't see many people around. It's sort of dimly lit. Sort of the clouds are now sort of gathering a bit more, so it's a bit darker. But he sort of leads you down, and then sort of hovers, looking towards like a few crates and baskets. With,
I imagine this massive blood stain also.
Yeah, looking at stains, baskets with a pool of darkened dried blood.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can I just have like a general look around? I'll do an investigation.
Yeah.
Just to see if there's anything that like stands out immediately.
Go for it. I mean, your passive is 11. So what I'm gonna say is, because I'm always confused with like checks and stuff, I will go with the passive unless your roll is higher.
Okay.
Just because I never understand. Because like if a character has a passive perception of 22, but they roll like a 7, then it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So just assume your lowest is an 11.
Yeah.
So you take a look around. You see so these baskets in this crate, you can see there are claw marks scratched up them and scratched up the walls. Can you make me a survival check as you see them?
Yep.
Really?
Really? The one time?
Yeah, so probably a not great thing to get. But you can see that these scratch marks are bigger than, or they're bigger than like a smaller animal. But the thing that like gets you the most is that there aren't like 3 claws, there are 5.
Like a hand.
Like a hand, rather than a paw.
Interesting.
Then what did you? So it's an 11. I'll use that survival actually, because I would have said survival. The survival could also work for this. You also see that there was definitely a scuffle here. Like some sort of fight, but it clearly was very quick. But sort of you see that big pile of dark red dried blood, but you also see like flecks of black liquid that is partially dry. Sort of dotted around in sections.
Would I know what that meant?
Can you make me an Arcana check? Oof.
God damn! Wait, let me just check something. If I cast Borrowed Knowledge,
yeah,
does that mean I can re-roll?
No.
Okay.
I don't think
it gives me proficiency in a chosen skill. That's all.
You already have proficiency in Arcana.
Oh, I do. God damn. Okay.
But you can use any magic that you might have at your disposal as a warlock. Any spells that could work in this scenario.
Detect magic?
Maybe.
But
don't, as a drow high magic, don't you get that for free? Can't you just keep casting that?
At will, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I cast Detect Magic.
What does it look like when you cast Detect Magic?
So, without giving too much away...
hey, it's just us, so you can give stuff away.
Yeah. So, Maeve is always, like, shrouded in, like, some sort of shadow. Not 100% sure what it is. Don't know. But it just sort of is always around her. So I imagine that she, like, extends a hand over the area, and this shadow that's, like, sort of, like, always around, like, her head and shoulders, like, spills down her arm and, like, casts over the area and, like, sort of makes it looks somewhat dark, and then any areas where there was like some sort of magic would sort of glow under, like, through the shadow.
Yeah.
And like be revealed in a way that like you could only see the magic when it was the darkness was there, if that makes sense.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So from that black liquid, you get, I would say from the black liquid and so you look at the blood as well, like the big area of blood,
Yeah.
and with that nat 20 survival, it's slightly darker than it should be. Also with that black, so from the normal blood, you get a faint trace of necromancy.
Yeah.
And then from the black blood, the trace is a lot more, it's a lot thicker, if that makes sense. Like, you can sense more necromancy coming from that. Then also one last thing. You only see this because of your detect magic.
Yeah.
But sort of just next to this crate, you see like a small cracked shard of something. That's the best way to describe it. Sort of like a deep maroon red gem. It's about like 4 centimeters long and 1 across, like tiny. And you only see it because it's giving off necromancy and enchantment, which is very strange. It's sort of like very jagged and sharp. So do you go and like pick it up, or do you just look at it?
I want to pick it up, but I'm scared of it. So I'm trying to figure out how I'd pick it up without touching it. Can I like go and like crouch and like have a proper look at it? Just while it's not still on the floor, just to make sure that like it's not gonna.
Yeah. I mean, it just
problem.
looks like a gem, or like a shard, like a something to describe it. Like it's just like like the shard of a broken gem.
Okay.
That
So
just is giving off that thing. You pick it up. It's just that you don't feel anything there. It's just you pick it up. It's like tiny, but like it's definitely weird.
I would like go over to Liam and like hold it in the palm of my hand and just say, "Do you have any idea what this is?"
He says, not entirely sure, but it looks, when the thing that attacked us ran away, it was a flash of shadow and a glint of red. And it could have been that.
Interesting. She like just keeps holding it in the palm of her hand and like looking it over.
So the only other thing that you get the sense of is when you look down at the blood, the normal blood, it's sort of like look at it a bit closer. You don't like. I assume you don't like touch it.
No.
For like detect magic and the necromancy and stuff, it's difficult to pinpoint. But the way you're looking at it, you could only describe this blood as stale.
Right.
I don't know the other way to put it. It's like something. It's like the blood has been drained. If that makes sense. That's the best way to describe it.
In her head, she's just screaming, "Vampires!" But she's not. She's not about to make a fool of herself. So she's just. I don't know. Maybe I think she'd ask Liam like, which direction did this thing go in? Did you see?
Just like points further into the alleyway because it goes like it's like an alleyway that goes to another street.
Yeah.
He just like points that direction.
Okay, I would, assuming that there's nothing I've missed.
You don't think you missed anything up.
Yeah, I would start heading down the alley a bit more and see if there's any more, red specks or like droplets of this black blood.
I'll say you do see like one or two more droplets of the black blood.
Yeah.
But
So just follow
nothing
it.
else. It sort of goes to the street,
Mhm.
and then you lose it.
Okay.
You can't see anything else. By the way, I will ask, did you take that letter or that note?
Yes. Because I'm going to go and give it to the person that they're supposed to meet.
Okay.
Not that I know how I'm going to find them,
Mhm.
but I assume somebody would be looking shady. So I go back over to Liam and just sort of say, well, I think I have the answer, but I don't 100% know. So I know what you're like, all of you, and you don't give in until you have 100% certainty, do you?
He gives like a faint shrug. It's the first time I've been dead.
Well,
But I'm not leaving, so I assume you're right.
Well, you might be stuck with me for a little while because I don't have an awful lot to go on here.
That's fine. I don't have anything I'm missing.
You don't. And then I'm sort of worried because she went to the inn and told the innkeeper that she wanted to go to that specific room, and then she left, and there's a dead body in that room. Yeah, so I'm assuming I still have the key to that room. Is it a bad idea to head back? Probably. Am I going to do it anyway? Probably. Yeah, I head back to the inn.
Okay. Back to the room?
Decision. Yeah. Assuming that nobody's been in there yet.
Doesn't look like anyone has.
Okay. Again, I lock the door.
Mm-hmm.
Does it look like anybody's come in and out since I have?
No. No, unnecessary.
Right. Well, I need to figure out a way to either stay here and make sure nobody comes in until tomorrow, or get rid of this body and then leave. But I don't really have an awful lot that I can do to get rid of a body.
Can you just have me one more investigation check? Now come back in with different perception. Never mind.
I'm rolling so terribly. This happens all the time. For anybody listening, get ready for the most awful rolls ever. I'm gonna have another look on the balcony. I'm gonna actually go out onto the balcony.
Okay.
And just have a look around, see if there's anything out there.
Okay, can you make me a non-investigation check for out on the balcony?
Thank you. It's still gonna be bad. Yes!
Oh, okay. 20. Nice. So you look on this balcony and you can see you still have to detect magic up because you can infinitely cast it.
Yeah.
But you look around and you can see on the railing of this balcony, you saw that sort of bloodied hand, like bloodied like print. You definitely see now that it's like a handprint that someone's put a bloody hand on the railing.
So is it? Can I tell from looking at it whether it's Liam's blood from his body or whether it's like black, like the blood in the alleyway?
It looks like a mixture.
Okay, so I'm right. Okay.
You also see isn't that much more helpful, but you see there's also like claw marks in the railing. So like you assume a person or a thing jumped, like put their hands on the railing and jumped over it, like vaulted over to like whatever it was. You can't tell where. But then you're looking around, and you can see on the opposite rooftop, there looks to be some of the tiles have been disturbed by someone hitting it.
Okay.
Like someone jumped off and hit it.
Yeah, so I head back inside and say to Liam, I assume that when you were attacked, it was only Elijah here, correct?
Yes.
So, in the alleyway, there was the pool of blood, which I assume was Elijah's.
Yes.
But there was another kind of blood, the darker blood. Did you see that when we went earlier?
I think so.
That same blood is in the room, but if it was only you and Elijah, that means it was... I assume you fought back when he...
We tried. I think I might have got a hit or two in.
So you probably made him bleed.
Maybe.
Do you see where I'm going with this?
I think so.
Whatever it was that attacked you and Elijah changed him, and that's why he attacked you.
I think that makes sense.
So, as for the reason, I think it was just in his nature. I don't think there was a reason other than desperation, hunger, you know?
Mm-hmm. I think I'm satisfied with that.
And now you're going to fizzle away and leave me with a body, aren't you?
I think so. And you sort of see, even as he starts talking, you see like starting from like where the legs would be, sort of going up, you see it start to fade. And just like before he leaves, he says, "Is there anything you want to ask me before I go?"
I can take those tickets, right?
I have no use for them.
Excellent. Well, all the best.
And sort of as he gets to like his neck and head, he just says, "Thank you," before vanishing.
Wow, a polite one. That's new.
And so sort of, what's your immediate thing to do afterwards?
Panic.
That's not a spell you know.
Say again.
That's not a spell that you know.
Yeah.
It's a cantrip.
Oh,
I'll see for free.
Oh no. I think, as horrible as it sounds, Maeve is going to have to try and hide a body.
Yeah.
So there's obviously a bed. Maybe like, is that a chest at the end of the bed?
Yeah, it's like like a foot chest, foot locker.
Oh dear. Well, there's also a shovel in the room, so...
Makes sense. I'm simple. Keep going.
I have two options here. I can hide this body and stay in this room until tomorrow and hope that Elijah doesn't come back. Or I can flee and hope that nobody finds this body and connects it to me. Or... No, I already left once. I can't... No, you know what? I am going to hope and pray that my rolls are good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I am gonna fling the door open and start screaming.
Oh, Jesus. What do you start screaming?
Help!
Okay, you're just screaming a hell.
Help!
Just help.
Yeah. Hoping that, somebody comes up.
Yep. Yeah. You sort of see a few people leave their rooms, like normal people, and they say, what's wrong, miss? What's wrong?" So one of them's like up towards you.
Yeah. Like, there's a body in here.
I'll do that one because I'm not doing that female voice. This guy. I don't know. He says, so there's a body.
I came looking for my uncle, and he's not here. But there's a body.
Can I make a deception check?
Yeah. Oh, please.
Remember, you can add a d4 and you have hero points.
I know. Oh, I had a D4
Okay.
and hope that that's high enough.
I can't see the number when you know the d4, so you just tell me.
Wait, do I have to? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, hang on. Where is it?
It's at the very bottom of your thing. 2, 12. Okay. He looks in. It's just like, because like he feels like he not the fact he doesn't believe what you're saying. He just doesn't. He doesn't believe that you're lying, but he doesn't believe what you're saying. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like there wouldn't be a body in here. So he sort of like steps in and looks, and then he just like starts like convulsing slightly as he sees it. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! There's a body. He sort of like takes you out, like, just get out. Let's leave the room, miss. Leave the room.
I like run out, pretending that I'm like devastated. Do you need me to do performance?
No, that's fine.
Okay, cool.
And he just says, you, no, come with me. And he sort of like takes you downstairs to the main room. And he says to the Dragonborn innkeep, he says, Ava, there's a body. There's there's no room numbers here. There's no room numbers. Second on the left, or whatever I said before.
I just like I tell the Dragonborn like through like shaky breaths and like faking this like devastation, like it's my uncle's room.
Okay. You can't be lower than a 12 because you already rolled it. Can you make me another deception check to see if you get higher?
Oof. Yes.
That's better.
Okay, we're getting somewhere.
She immediately stands up and says, "Oh gosh, oh no. Okay. Well, you looks at you, and just like you see, she's sad for you, because she thinks he's your uncle. Why don't you sit on here? Someone will get you some food. Just breathe and try to relax, okay?
Okay.
And she's sort of like someone leads to like a table, and then she starts like going about the motions of getting people to help clean up, and you do technically out of this get a free meal. A nice meal if you take it.
Yeah.
So like an hour and a half. In like an hour and a half, do you do anything?
Just keep up the facade that I am absolutely horrified.
Okay. A few sort of an hour and a half, 2 hours later, you see like guards have been coming in and out, as well as like a few like clerics or priests or something. And they sort of one of the guards sort of comes forward, sort of like a younger man, with sort of like short like blonde hair, sort of not wearing it's not like captain's attire, but like slightly nicer than the regular guards.
Yeah.
And he sort of says, can I sit down, please?
Of course.
And sort of like sits down, puts the helmet on the table. I'm terribly sorry for what happened. I am Henry. I'm just here to ask you a few questions if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
I always hate doing this bit. When did you find the body?
Well, I came in earlier and spoke to the innkeeper. I was looking for Elijah, and she, gave me a spare key, and I take the key out of my pocket and like put it on the table. And I was going to head into the room, but then I remembered, I haven't seen him for a long time, so I turned back, went into town to get him something. And couldn't find anything that says, sorry, we've not spoken in 10 years, you know. So I came back, opened the door, and there was a body. And and then I feign crying again.
Can it be a deception check?
Sorry. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Okay. Perception or
Deception.
Deception. Cool. Oh shit. Okay. Oh yes!
Nice. Nat 20.
Nat 20.
He says, "All right. I'm sorry. Just have a drink. Okay. Do you recognize the body?"
I believe the innkeep said my uncle was staying with a man called Liam. But I don't know
You don't have a
him.
second name, do you?
No.
Yeah, I'll ask her about that. When was the last time you saw your uncle before today? Or you didn't see him, did you? He wasn't there.
No, it's been a long time. I got word of him being injured. And I didn't want to. And she he's like, I didn't want to miss the chance to say goodbye.
All right. Well, we're gonna get Ava to get your room or something, so you can have a good night's sleep. You might have to come back and ask me some questions on a later date once we have more information.
Okay.
But for now, just take some time and try not to do anything too brash.
I understand. Thank you.
And so gives you a nod and stands up before talking to just another guard about what you said.
Yeah.
But the rest of the day goes by and it gets late night or early evening. So 8 p.m. ish, 9 o'clock. And Ava sort of comes up to you, says, "I'm so sorry, my dear. I have a room for you if you'd like it. Just
that would be. Yes, I would.
Something to say."
I desperately need sleep. Yes.
Yes. I'm sorry for what happened.
No, think nothing of it. You weren't to know.
And she hands you a key. It's a bigger room, so just try and enjoy yourself if you can. I know it's difficult after this sort of thing. Breakfast is between 5 and 11, so you can get something then. But we will do what we can to help you.
Thank you very much.
And sort of gives you a nod and says, "Before I go, do you need anything? Food, drink?"
Just a good night's sleep. Thank you.
You deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
I assume you
head up to my room.
Bed.
Yeah.
So you head into the room. It's a very nice.
I have a sound effect for this. Hang on. I don't know if it'll pick up on the thing, but.
Yes,
she wasn't just like, wow, this is nice.
It's a very nice room. I don't have a map for it, but it's, a nice double bed. There's
you probably weren't expecting me to run out and ask for help.
No, surprisingly. But you go in the room. It's very nice. I assume you just lie on the bed. And as you're sort of lying there, do you think you're drifting off to sleep, or are you just sort of lying there?
Probably not. Yeah, probably just lying there.
So, a little bit into you lying there, you hear the same voice you heard earlier, and they say, "Well, this seems to have taken a turn."
Can I reply?
Yep.
What do you mean?
Something simple has turned into something more complicated, but I guess that happens a lot.
Yes, it tends to be the case.
That was one hell of a lie.
Well, I learned from the best.
It certainly wasn't from me. Well, I think you should get a good night's sleep. And definitely go and see that play tomorrow. If not, it might just be a fun reprieve.
Hmm. I could use a break.
And who knows? Maybe something interesting will happen then.
Well, interesting things do seem to follow me.
Isn't that true?
And so you feel the connection fade,
Yeah.
and you drift off to sleep. And we will end the one-on-one.